Lately, my husband David has been glued to his phone, constantly texting someone on WhatsApp. It seems he's been secretly keeping in touch with another woman. Seizing the moment while he was asleep, I switched her contact info to mine and sent a message. "Wanna meet at the hotel now?"
I want to see you too, heading there now.
He replied without knowing he was texting me. Within a minute, David showed up at the hotel. Imagine the look on his face when he finds out it's me waiting. I'm Michelle, a 33-year-old housewife and currently seeking for a job. My husband, David, is a corporate worker. He is 2 years older than me. We met through my friend's introduction and we're now in our 3rd year of marriage. Initially drawn to his masculinity, his domineering nature gradually became more apparent. 2 months ago, the bakery where I worked shut down due to economic downturn, leaving me jobless. When I shared this with David, his response was less than supportive.
Planning to rely on me now. Find another job immediately.
Despite actively job hunting, the process was challenging. David derogatorily called me useless, only good for kneading bread. Adding insult to injury, he'd bring colleagues and juniors home and belittle me in front of them.
Sorry guys, my wife can only serve this kind of food when we have guests over. It's embarrassing.
It's us visiting you suddenly. Sorry to bother you, Michelle.
No need to apologize. She's jobless with too much free time. I just hope she finds work before becoming a full-time parasite.
Given that I was in front of guests, I quietly let it pass, but I also have a strong-willed personality. When we were alone, we often argued. Though it's true I relied on his salary, it didn't lessen the sting of his remarks. Gradually, our relationship soured. Yet, I wasn't considering divorce, hoping things would change once I found employment. Being together more often than not, I started noticing things about my husband that had never bothered me before. One of the first things that caught my attention was how inseparable he had become from his smartphone. At home, he always grasped his phone. I noticed the constant glow of the screen, the way his fingers would swiftly move across it, engaged in what seemed like an endless conversation on his WhatsApp. Despite the bond of marriage, the respect for each other's privacy is something I've always held dear, yet the seed of curiosity, once planted, is not so easily ignored. One evening, as I found myself observing him yet again, my gaze lingering a bit too long on the device in his hands, he caught me looking.
What's your problem?
His reaction was immediate and tinged with irritation. He snapped, quickly pocketing the phone as if to shield it from my view. "I just noticed you've been on your phone a lot."
It's none of your business.
"Sure, it's none of my business." His defensive posture, the quickness of his dismissal, it all fed the growing suspicion in my mind. Was he hiding something from me? Days turned into weeks, and the question remained, a constant undercurrent to our daily interactions. Then, one day, he had come home from work and, as had become his routine, was engrossed in his phone. But fatigue soon took its toll, and he drifted off to sleep on the sofa, his phone slipping from his relaxed grip and clattering onto the floor with a noise that seemed louder in the quiet room. Well, it's now or never. I picked up his phone and tried to wake him up. Yet, soon after I grabbed his phone, a plan began to form. If he was communicating with someone, now was my chance to find out who. Making sure he was still asleep, I used his finger to bypass the fingerprint lock, a move that felt like a betrayal yet driven by a desperate need for the truth. His WhatsApp was right there, open to a conversation that confirmed my worst fears. He had been texting with a woman, their conversation filled with affectionate emojis and declarations of love. It was like an actual conversation between lovers. Scrolling through their history, I found evidence of a relationship that spanned months, complete with indications of intimate encounters. In a daze, I used my phone to take pictures of their conversation, a digital record of the betrayal. I had expected to feel anger, heartbreak, even a sense of vindication at having my suspicions confirmed. Instead, I felt numb, the words on the screen blurring into meaningless symbols. Documenting their affair felt like compiling evidence for a case I never wanted to be part of. As I worked, my husband continued to snore beside me, oblivious to the storm raging in my heart. Casting a sidelong glance at my husband, I saved the icon of the woman from his phone and sent it to my WhatsApp. Then, I meticulously deleted the record and the woman's account on his phone. This ensured that even if he tried, he couldn't find any trace of my actions or even access her page anymore. Taking it a step further, I also blocked and deleted her contact from his phone book, effectively cutting off any means for them to communicate directly with each other. Next, utilizing a smartphone I reserved for work, I created a new messaging account using the woman's icon and meticulously recreated about 20 messages between them. At a glance, it would appear as if nothing had changed, and he wouldn't notice that the account now belonged to me, not her. The fact that I had never shared this work phone's contact information with him suddenly felt serendipitous. "David, what are you up to?" I ventured, adopting her voice through text, curious yet cautious. I sent him a message, impersonating the woman with whom he had been entangled. After ensuring the message had been delivered to my husband's phone, I gently woke him up. "David, don't sleep here. You'll catch a cold. You haven't even taken a shower yet. Go on, I don't want things left untidy."
Yeah, I got it.
He muttered, barely acknowledging me as he checked the message and made his way towards the bathroom. Shortly after, a reply pinged on my secondary phone. It was from him, of course.
I'm about to hop in the shower. Want to join me, perhaps?
"Oh, stop it, David, you're making me blush." I responded, imitating the woman's flirting style I had witnessed in their message history. As the exchange continued, I noticed a mix of sweet nothings and subtle digs at me, his wife. Despite my irritation, I remained in character, responding as the other woman would. Initially anxious about being discovered, I soon realized he had no clue. The thought of him being unaware that he was actually communicating with me brought an unexpected chuckle. He lamented about not being able to meet her today due to work, expressing a feigned vulnerability like, "Work was tough today, I really wished we could have met," and so on. I played along, sending back, "I wish I could see you too." Then I decided to verbally check in on him in the bathroom. Soaking in the tub, yet never parting from his phone, the thought that he had been sending such messages left me in disbelief.
Really? Invading my bath time now? What's so urgent?
"Sorry to bother, but I've got to head out." His irritation was palpable, possibly assuming my exit was for leisure.
Where are you going?
He inquired with a barely concealed annoyance. "An old boss got in touch, wants to meet urgently. Sounds like it's about a job opportunity, or so I'm led to believe.
If it's work-related, then you should definitely go.
But it's a bit out of the way. I might not return until late. Wonder if I should just cancel."
Just go, will you? Isn't this about a job referral?
"Thank you, I will."
Make sure you get that referral.
"I know, I will. Heading out now." I told him again to ensure he's aware of my absence. The moment I stepped outside, a message from him popped up on my phone. "My wife's gone out, looks like we can meet." Continuing the charade, I kept up the pretense, engaging him under the guise of the other woman. I found a nearby hotel with available rooms, checked in, and sent him a message, daring him to meet me there. "Can you really come out? I'm actually near your place right now. How about we meet at this hotel? Will you come?"
Near my house. Where exactly? I'm in the bath and might take a bit longer, but I'll come.
I replied to him with the hotel name and room number. "I can't wait to see you." Then he replied.
Take a shower and wait for me.
It was such a repulsive reply. It seemed he would be heading over after getting ready, and given I hadn't prepared for him a change of clothes on purpose, it would buy me some time. 30 minutes after settling into the hotel room, he messaged, "Almost there." As I waited in the room, a soft knock on the door broke the silence. "Is that him already?" Peeking through the door's peephole, the sight of my husband, meticulously adjusting his appearance, confirmed my suspicion. With a swift motion, I opened the door and, with a mix of urgency and determination, pulled him inside.
Well, what's all this about?
He managed to laugh, but it quickly evaporated as our eyes met, his transforming from amusement to utter disbelief. "I've been waiting for you."
Why are you here?
"Because I'm the one who asked you to come." He frantically checked his phone, the icons and names betraying no change, his confusion mounting. His gaze darted between the phone and me, trying to piece together the reality before him. "You really didn't catch on, did you? Those messages were from me, not your beloved girlfriend. Sorry to disappoint.
How did you?
Your sneaky habits caught my attention. Not that I truly believed you'd stoop to an affair.
You lied about meeting an old boss just to pull this off. Aren't you the slightest bit embarrassed?
I regret the lie, but let's talk about a man who rushes to a hotel, eagerly responding to another woman's call. That seems quite desperate, doesn't it?
I wasn't eager.
Really? Yet here you are, having raced over at the mere suggestion. Any excuses you make now are just embarrassing. He stared angrily at me and said,
Consider I'm the one providing for you.
That's always your fallback, isn't it?
But it's the truth, isn't it?
True, I haven't found a new job and have relied on you to some extent. However, I've been using my savings for personal expenses and have not stopped looking for work.
Such a burden, like you shouldn't speak so boldly.
In these last 2 months, I haven't indulged in any luxury on your dime. I've only asked for what was absolutely necessary, but I don't recall ever being a burden.
Despite being lazy as a housewife.
Yes, I've been a housemaker for 2 months, thanks to your support. And for that, I am grateful. You work hard outside, and I acknowledge that.
That's right. You should be more appreciative of me.
But if we can't support each other in times of need, then what's the point of us being a couple? Perhaps it's for the best that you have someone else.
Are you considering divorce?
Maybe that's not such a bad idea.
That's not acceptable. Don't make decisions like that on your own.
You're the one who cheated despite being married. I believe I have the right to decide whether I want to continue this marriage.
How do you plan to live without me when you're not working?
Unfortunately for you, I've already found a new job, and I still have my parents' home to return to. So, you needn't worry about me.
You found a job. Why didn't you say so earlier?
Do I need to tell someone who's about to become a stranger?
We're still married.
For now, yes. But I've decided to divorce. Pretending to be her and interacting with you made everything clear. Pandering to your mistress while disparaging your wife, hurling insults when things don't go your way, and belittling your spouse in front of others is despicable. I no longer have any love left for you. I'll write the divorce papers tonight and pack my things tomorrow. You can enjoy your life with her. Of course, I'll contact you about the alimony through my lawyer, so look forward to that.
Wait.
Is there anything left to discuss? I'd prefer it if you leave now. I'll be staying here tonight. I concluded, firmly ushering him out of the room and locking the door behind him. Despite his initial protests, a stern warning about calling the police saw him leave. After that, he tried to call or text me, but I made it clear that I had nothing to say and rejected his attempts. The next day, with my parents' help, I moved my belongings out of our shared home. My parents, though taken aback by the suddenness, supported me without hesitation. Kneeling at the entrance, he begged me to reconsider, promising to end things with her and to never cheat again. As I told you last night, there is nothing I want to talk with you.
Please calm down and listen to me. I will break up with my affair and will never cheat on you, I swear.
Why do you think you deserve a second chance?
Please forgive me.
Too insistent.
It's not just our daughter you've betrayed. We won't forgive you either.
My father finally intervened, his disappointment evident. Faced with my father's stern disapproval, my husband had no choice but to accept the end of our marriage. Upon finalizing my decision to return to my parents' home, it became inevitable to discuss the divorce proceedings with my husband. We decided to involve a lawyer to mediate the process, demanding alimony from both my husband and his mistress. The mistress, a 23-year-old woman he met through an online dating site, was working part-time with no significant savings. Despite her pleas for a reduced settlement due to her financial situation, I felt no obligation to show leniency. She had knowingly engaged with a married man, after all. We settled on a compensation of $20,000, with her parents agreeing to cover the cost. As for my husband, I demanded $35,000 and a fair split of our savings. His argument that he had supported me during my unemployment was dismissed. Now, I've started living at my parents' while working as an assistant at a local bakery. There's potential for a full-time position based on performance, which I am earnestly working towards. Although I plan to rent an apartment once things stabilize, for now, I'm focusing on repaying my parents' kindness. We've even planned a family trip to a hot spring resort next month.